Back. Today I'm going to show you how to create the drums and bass from the song Kill Bill by SZA. I'm going to break it down for you, show you the kind of similar sounds you can use, how to create that drum pattern. It's very easy. So let's just dive right in. So first thing is we're going to look at the bass line because I think that song has a really cool bass line. And let's just go ahead and take a listen to what I have right here. So in another video, I already showed you how to recreate the synth. Today we're just going to focus on the drums and bass. So let's break down the drums and bass, right? Go ahead and first I'll show you what I did with the bass line. Now obviously you want to get a good bass sound because the bass they have is a very realistic sounding bass, and I think it is a real bass. So what I did was I simply went to Cymatics and I got one of their synth-based guitar one-shots and put that in to a blank MIDI. It loads up on Simpler. That allows me to input my own MIDI notes and play it as my own instrument. And I basically mimicked the bass line that was going on in the song. It does help if you play an instrument and you can actually hear things and lay it down. But otherwise, there's something that you can do where you can convert audio to MIDI and extract notes like that. It's something I also showed in the synthesizer video for this song. But nonetheless, I did the bass line and I got a similar sounding bass one shot. And then once you lay the notes, that's pretty much half the battle, really. But here's the thing, to make it sound more like a real bass that's gliding and sliding, here's the thing you want to know. It's very subtle. So you want to go into your MIDI editor, and down here there's this little button right here. You click on that. It's going to show you envelopes. You're going to select the actual sound, which is the cymatic sound. You're going to select transpose, and it's going to show you where you can actually, draw in your own transposition. So what I did was I created points where I could transpose things to, bring the glide and the pitch down and up with each note. So that's what's going on, right? If I were to get rid of all this, let me just get rid of all this, what I did right here. Imagine it was just flat. Listen to how flat and robotic it sounds. So it just sounds so weird, right? But when I bring back these little glides that I did just by clicking and kind of dragging like that, now listen to the bass line. It's very subtle, but it really makes your bass sound more like a real bass. So that's something that you can definitely incorporate. All right, so that's the bass line. It's actually quite simple. There's not much going on there, really. And then with the drums, we kind of have more of a lo-fi sounding, realistic drum sound. And again, sound selection is key. If you really want to emulate a certain artist, you got to pick sounds that they're using, or at least something similar. Train your ears to find the right sounds. You're going to start sounding like your favorite artists, right? So luckily, if you have Ableton, you have access to a lot of these sounds, because I was able to find all of these in the stock drums of Ableton. I just went in here, and then I believe I just went to drum hits, and I went to kick, and they had the kick Blue Room, which is part of Ableton, and that sounds like this. It's a nice thumpy kick. It's a pretty simple pattern. So I would listen to the drums and I'd first listen to the kick, be like, what's the pattern? Right? Then I go to the snare, same thing. Snare is the same sound under drums of Ableton, under drum hits. It was under snare, and I found a snare cust. I think it was one of the first ones right here. The snare pattern is just a simple 2 and 4, very easy. Right? Kick and snare together. Very simple. Hi-hat. Also just a simple hi-hat. Now here's the important thing. To give it that lo-fi vibe, I did muffle. I did a little bit of high-pass filtering on the kick, around 11K. Same thing with the snare, around 9K right here. Hi-hat as well, around 7K. So I'm just filtering out the highs a little bit to make it more muffled and lo-fi. Same thing with the open hi-hat, around 8K we're filtering it. So this is crucial to get that kind of drum sound they're using, right? So here's our hi-hat patterns. We have a closed hi-hat, very simple, just straight eighth notes. quarter notes, I should say, with the open hi-hat at the end. Very simple, right? So the drums together just sound like this. Doesn't sound like much, sounds like a basic beat. But because the bass line is so nice and syncopated, it sounds a lot more funky when you add them together. So that's why it's important to be able to isolate each part that you're listening to make sure you hear those nuances. Because when they all come together, they really start to pop. So that's essentially the drums and bass of the song. It's actually quite simple, right? And then, of course, everything once again together. And that's the drums and bass of Kill Bill by SZA. That's how you do it. Very simple. Now, if you want to learn how to do this yourself, recreate any song you want, or just learn production in general, train your ears, train how to find the right sounds, train yourself to isolate different parts, we can help you with that. You can click the link in the description. Coaching might be a great fit for you. And if not, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you want to see next time. Thanks for watching.